Hello friends, it's Techman Pat here and let's get straight into it. The fight is on. The 5G spectrums are the new gold rush. The buzzards are circling and everybody wants a piece of the pie that is the electromagnetic spectrum with frequencies from 30 Hz to 300 Hz. You see, electromagnetic waves is this frequency range called radio waves and are widely used in modern technology, particularly in telecommunication. Now, to prevent interference between different users, the generation and transmission of radio waves is strictly regulated by national laws and coordinated by an international body, the International Telecommunications Union, and of course, it's a union. So, how does this tie into the NBN network and 5G? Well, here is the thing. NBN Co is fighting to keep control over the prime stake that is 5G spectrum. It originally got rights to it a few years back. Now there are those who wish to relieve it of the valuable asset and they are edging closer to success with a multi-year, multi-million-dollar campaign. This campaign is led by Vodafone since 2017. They have consistently urged regulators to revoke the 3.4 and 3.5 GHz spectrum licenses from the NBN Co because it is now infinitely more valuable than when it was allocated. Kind of like giving away your Pokemon cards a few years back to salvos and realizing they are now worth a fortune. The cards, that is, not salvos. Now, NBN Co uses the spectrum for its fixed wireless network. Its rights cover metropolitan, metro fringe zones and 5 capital cities and are allocated before the band was declared a major 5G candidate. For years, the Vodafone-led campaign looked like it would come up short. But in April, the Australian Communications and Media Authority, ACMA, raised questions about how NBN Co's urban 3.5 holdings should be treated. Now, raising questions is typically a term to say that something is brewing, but without any actual outcomes, and personally I don't like it, as I ask a lot of questions myself and nothing ever brews. But what is on the table to consider is that one sense NBN would retain what they have and negotiate with anyone that wants some of the special spectrum space. On the other, the option is a bit more Stalin inspired, taking what NBN has and auctioning it off to the others at market prices. Well, what do you think poor old NBN wants to do? They seem to want to maintain some sort of control over the spectrum that is either in use or that could be used in NBN Co's own 5G ambitions. And don't get me wrong, they probably definitely do have 5G ambitions, but they have a lot of problems already. Now, personally, I think it needs to stay with the NBN because this is a slippery slope to basically selling off more Australian assets. And at the end of the day, why can't the NBN be the wholesaler for telecommunications? So guys, let me know in the comments and let's get a discussion going about that topic. But of the proposal to relieve it of urban licenses, NBN Co said that it would limit its future options, increase the likelihood of interference for its current fixed wireless network, and complicate management of licensing, generally in the 3.5 GHz band. Basically, it would be a headache for both customers also because of the interference and NBN, and it's not like they have enough on their plate already. But ACMA has other ideas. They are trying to reform the management of the 3.5 GHz spectrum, which is currently a mess with disorganized deals with operators, users, and license types. With the band now expected to be a major future home for 5G services, the ACMA is keen to make sure the finite asset is used in the most efficient and effective way possible, which does make sense in a way. They have put a number of options on the table, but as per usual, grubby money hungry commercial mobile operators aren't particularly thrilled with any of them, which isn't a surprise. Oh, and before I forget, Telstra is sitting at the back of the class and messing with everyone's affairs. They are pushing a completely separate model over concerns that older 4G LTE networks interfering with its own planned 5G and R deployment in the band. The problem exists because carriers use different wireless technologies in adjacent spectrums and would need to synchronize their radio networks to avoid interference with each other. That isn't particularly new, but could result in both operators losing some flexibility in how they configure their networks. Now, Telstra is keen to avoid this by essentially separating older and newer networks operating in the 3.5 GHz spectrum with a series of guard bands. Now, Telstra claimed its proposal would not strip NBN Co of any current spectrum it has rights to, nor does it require them to return any spectrum held under the spectrum license. However, Telstra did go on to say its proposal would require NBN Co to forgo future access to some of the spectrum nationally available to it. Now, the Communist Party of Vodafone meanwhile argues that cutting up of the 3.5 GHz spectrum should be a secondary concern to relieving NBN Co of the urban licenses and re-auctioning them. However, the thing is, the NBN Co has no use of the spectrum in urban areas because its wireless systems are mainly for more remote services. So technically, why not share that unused spectrum? I think it's more of the price that the commercial carriers want to pay as little as possible with as much control as they can muster. You see, it's not the most populated parts of Australia where the greatest benefits can be gained from auctioning the unused spectrum. What do you guys think? Do we want to separate these spectrums, sell it off to the carriers so they can make more money in high density areas? Should we be auctioning more parts of the NBN in general before it's even rolled out fully? Should we give them the chance to have their own 5G wholesale network? Let's chat in the comments below. Thanks for watching and I'll catch you in the next one. Guys, subscribe, like, and bye!